This segment of BAM Vision is brought to you by Randy Tinney, Realtor, Century 21 Mazzell & Associates. Call 601-622-4009 for all of your real estate needs.
And welcome to the latest edition of BAM Vision. We are live on location at CC's Coffee House in Ridgeland. I'm Jack Chris, your host, Randy Tinney behind the camera, and we are very pleased to be joined by a young man. Many of you may already know him as a former NFL player, first-round draft pick. Now he's in business here in Ridgeland, Mississippi, of all places, Mr. Kelly Jennings. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know, we were just talking a minute ago before we went on the camera, and you spent, 8 years in the NFL? You were 6?
Yes, sir.
6 years. You were a first-round draft pick out of the University of Miami.
Yes, sir.
With the Seattle Seahawks. Mm-hmm. Is that what everybody wants to talk to you about? I mean, now you're in business. You've got a great career with branding, wealth management in Ridgeland, which we're going to talk about. But is the first thing out of everybody's mouth, like me, tell us about the NFL?
People who know me and know that I played in the NFL, that's kind of the first question that I get. And but those who don't, I try not to bring it up, or depending on where I'm at and what I'm doing, I try to not bring it up, let people get to know me for who I am, because if not, that whole conversation becomes about football, and generally that's all we talk about for about an hour. So,
but what was that bumper sticker on the back of your car? I'm a former NFL player. I thought I saw that.
I try to keep that hidden.
Now, you were born and raised where?
I'm born and raised in Live Oak, Florida.
Okay.
It's northern central Florida, kind of small country town.
And when you were at the University of Miami, not only did you play football, but you also got a major in business. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In finance?
I majored in finance and business management. I was able to double major while I was there.
So even while there, while you were cultivating and honing your football skills, were you thinking past football and what you would be doing? Is that why you got that degree? Because, I mean, look, let's be honest. We hear about so many NFL players who go into sports education, or they want to coach after they retire. Were you already in that mindset? Did you appreciate business as a young college student?
I did appreciate business as a college student. When I first got there, to be honest, I was in CIS, Computer Information Systems. And to be completely honest, I was as lost as dust in the wind. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, but I knew I wanted to do business, some form of business. But I realized I was spending too much time in the computer lab and trying to do practice, and it was just kind of hard to swing. So what I did, to be honest, was I said I like numbers, I like math. What can I get in that involves those two? And finance was kind of what I fell on. And to be honest, I think by the grace of God, it was the thing that I really love to do.
The typical scholar jock.
Something like that.
All right, look, getting drafted in the first round of the NFL, that's impressive. I mean, you've got to have talent. So the Seahawks took you. What number did they take you?
31.
Big money involved in that.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And Mike Holmgren was the coach at the time.
He was the head coach.
And so tell us, just for those interested, playing in the NFL 6 years, 5 with the Seahawks, 1 with the Bengals, and you just told me your defensive coach at Cincinnati was Mike Zimmer of my Minnesota Vikings. Got to get that plug in. What was the high point of your career, and what did you appreciate and enjoy most about the NFL, and what did you take from it now that you apply in your business career?
I'll start with what I enjoyed the most. I think what I enjoyed the most was the relationships that I was able to form with coaches and with other players. Once you get past that college level, you kind of get to a point where it's men who are married, have families, and so there's a different relationship and bond that forms with that. And that was one of the biggest things that I enjoyed about the NFL. One thing I would like to let people know about the NFL too, that the NFL is not just what they see on Sunday. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it, a lot of practice, a lot of film study, and that's kind of where we spend 90% of our time. What you see on Sunday is kind of, I guess, the glorification of all that we put in going into the week. So to answer that first question, that was one of the things, that camaraderie, that atmosphere is what I really enjoyed about the NFL. Second question of what did I take from it? I think one of the biggest lessons that I took from it was not everything is as bad as it seems. And I say that I was very self-critical, and so if I messed up, it was just like a catastrophic, in my mind, mess up on the field. But then when you go back Monday morning and watch the film, I'm like, I actually didn't play that bad. And I kind of learned that through my counseling, that emotions tend to escalate things and make it a lot worse than what it is. So I kind of took from that to now in my business of, you missed that client, you didn't get that one. Things are not as bad as they seem. Just continue to stay the road, stay the course, and everything will work out.
And there will be a next one.
Yes, sir.
Now, and you were a cornerback.
I was.
I got to ask you, who was the hardest guy to cover when you played?
Well, for me, we were in the Northwest Division, and so it was Larry Fitzgerald he was kind of in his prime at the time.
Still a great player.
Yes, huge guy. And you look at myself, I'm not the biggest player, so I had a lot of trouble going up against him.
But you walked away from the game. I take it you were in good health.
Yes, sir.
When you left the Bengals. Why? I mean, why would anybody walk away from the NFL? There's so many players, like we read about Terrell Owens, Randy Moss. These guys still want to get back in the game. They've been retired 3 or 4 years. Why'd you leave?
Well, I started to do some self-evaluation after maybe my second and third year, and just really who I was, what I wanted to do. And it was kind of the time where I was converted and was going through some things there and understanding things more of who I was as a person. And just this whole thing of wanting to help people kept coming up. And my passion for football, as I did some self-examination, I realized was not the same as it used to be. And I got to a point after year 6 where I felt I would be doing myself and the league an injustice if I continued to play, because I had this desire so much to help people that it was kind of overshadowing my desire to play. And so I wanted to go do something while I felt I was helping people and actually contributing to who I was as a person.
Interesting and rare. When we come back, we're going to shift to business and ask Mr. Kelly Jennings why and how he ended up in Jackson, Mississippi, working for our friend Jason Branning and Branning Wealth Management. Stay with us. We'll be right back on BAM Vision.